That's my Durga look.
Where my ladies in their 40s and 50s at?
This is the fourth video in our exploration of the divine feminine. If you'd like to start at the beginning of the series, you can click the link up here. And if you're new here, what's up? I'm Kai, and this is Stephanie Danger. She serves as an alter ego for women in midlife who are done with the status quo and want to live life by their own rules. This series explores different goddesses of yoga and how they can help us connect to our divine feminine power. Today, we are going to connect with our inner Durga. She is the warrior goddess of protection and inner strength. And as you get to know each goddess, you will most likely find one you really resonate with. For me, Durga is my goddess. I tend to carry a bit of the Durga archetype as part of my personality. As we prepare to connect with Goddess Durga, let's take a couple of deep breaths in to get grounded and open ourselves to her wisdom. So taking a deep breath in and release. And one more deep breath in as we invite Durga to unveil herself within and outside of ourselves. May the manifestation of her Shakti awaken us to our own heart, and may she show up for us in magical and unexpected ways. Durga shows up at a time when the world is experiencing a great war that has been going on for a long time. It's a war between the demons and the gods. The demons are led by two brothers, Shumba and Nishumba, who have taken over the world after being granted a guarantee from above that no man or god can defeat them in battle. The brothers declare themselves the rulers of the upper and lower worlds, and having conquered everything worth conquering, they devote themselves to collecting art and women, to building houses, and to commissioning songs of praise. Sound familiar? The gods gather in desperation. They cannot figure out what to do. Then a friendly sage points out a loophole in the protection guarantee given to the demon kings. No man or god can defeat the brothers, but nobody said anything about a goddess. Now, at this point, the great goddess had not taken form. Why? She remains hidden and only appears when she is asked. The sage suggests to the gods to go to the supreme goddess and beg her to appear in the world. She is waiting for you to ask. Of course, it isn't easy. For a celestial century, which is 20,000 years in human time, the gods petition her. They sing her praises. They pray and beg for her help. At last, Shakti appears as Durga sitting on a lion. "What brings you here?" she asks, even though she already knows. They tell her the world is in ruins and no male god can save us. Now, she's a little irritated because they only call on her after the situation has gotten so extreme, but eventually she agrees to intervene and restore balance to the world. She appears at the palace of the demon kings. As soon as they see her, they want her. They are riveted by her beauty and graceful poise. Her divine self-confidence emits a gentle power. But she demurely informs them that although she is interested, she is the daughter of a warrior race and can only marry an equal. She informs them that if they really want her, they will have to fight her. Now, little do they know, Durga's expertise is slaying demons. And you would think they suspect something was up when a beautiful goddess agrees to fight them. But the ego, especially in its inflated state, is not always wise. First, the demon kings send their army to battle and subdue Durga, but she defeats them with ease and grace. Shumba and Nishumba realize we have no choice. We are going to have to fight Goddess Durga and defeat her or lose our guarantee of protection. Yet again, they're no match for her. As the demons die, they cry out, "Ma!" A smile comes over their faces. The ecstasy of the goddess fills their being. I love this story for how it speaks to us on so many different levels. It's a commentary on the danger of underestimating the feminine. It speaks to the dangers of allowing imbalance to go on for too long. The demons in this story represent the ego. And from that viewpoint, it becomes a story about the transformation of the ego. The ego's main purpose is to control. It wants to control circumstances, the body, the mind, the people around us. So naturally, the ego will do everything it can to resist surrendering to higher powers. Durga is in love with truth. She has no patience with the games played by the demons. She doesn't compromise. In Western culture, most women are taught to repress their anger. We do this to avoid being labeled a bitch or out of fear of being disliked. I actually saw this firsthand when I was casting one of my directing projects. One of the roles required the actresses to be able to really tap into their anger. And it wasn't like we were in a regular life situation. They were in an audition room with permission to voice their rage, and yet they couldn't. They really struggled. And to me, it said so much about how deeply we've been conditioned to repress that emotion. I have struggled with this conditioning too. I don't actually have a problem expressing my anger, but I have struggled with feeling bad about expressing it. Durga has helped me understand that my anger is actually a response to something being wrong. She reminds me it's justified and needed in order to protect myself and others and to stand up against injustice. The first time I worked with the goddesses, I pulled Durga the week I was dealing with a very stressful work situation. I had gotten the opportunity to collaborate on a project with a fairly well-known actress and a successful producer she was working with at the time. I was so excited since I was working on building my career as a director. But after I handed over the finished project, they decided they didn't need to pay me or honor the written agreement we had made. I got the impression that since I was a no-name with zero power, they felt no obligation to include me once they'd gotten from me what they needed. And this was confirmed when the producer called me at one point and asked who I thought I was to be making demands. My demand being they honor our agreement. Needless to say, it was very hard and very stressful. We all know how it feels to speak out against people with more power than us. But I am convinced that Durga helped me stay brave and stand up for myself. The anxiety I felt kept coming up, and I would just chant her mantra every single time. I was chanting her mantra morning, noon, and night to try to stay grounded and calm. They finally paid me and honored the agreement. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. Durga represents a crucial aspect of feminine wisdom. I've actually started to think that our relationship with anger is something that can block access to the power Durga offers us. A couple of questions to ask yourself are, what is my relationship with anger? And does it impact the way I express myself? There have been studies done that show when men display anger at work, they gain influence. But when women display anger, they lose influence. So it's no wonder we swallow our anger, but we have to stop doing that. Suppressed, repressed, diverted, and ignored anger is now understood to be a factor in many women's illnesses, including various eating disorders, autoimmune diseases, chronic fatigue, and pain. We can't use Durga as intended, which is to express righteous anger, if we're holding on to repressed anger from years of being silent out of fear. So we need to rewire ourselves to see anger as a critically useful and positive emotion. Imagine if we let our wisdom and a healthy dose of anger guide the choices we make. Anger drives us to demand accountability. It's a powerful force for political good. It helps us set healthy boundaries. Durga is our goddess for support and reawakening our fire. Righteous anger is what changes the world. The thing to remember, to make it a little easier, is that Durga's power is used to protect. And only when necessary is her power used to punish. As a world protector, Durga's fierceness arises out of her uniquely potent compassion. Durga energy is often behind a woman's instincts to champion the underdog or to organize for change. She is often the fuel for popular uprisings and the will to fight social and political injustice. She is the driving force behind revolutions. When Durga's revolutionary energy sweeps through the world, there is no going back to the way things were before. Sally says one way to get a felt sense of the Durga Shakti is to remember a moment when you recognized from the deepest place inside you that something was wrong, that it had to change. There is a conviction that comes with these moments. That is Durga. Durga is also the force in nature behind every snowstorm, tsunami, earthquake, flood, and intense fire. She's our go-to when we need the courage to enter into battle, even when that battle could be one we're facing inside ourselves. I actually love this from Sally. She says, as a force in the transformative process, Durga Shakti gives you the power to face the parts of yourself that are in the way of your evolution. Durga is heroic in the old-fashioned sense. Like Wonder Woman, Durga is ready to leap into action at a moment's notice and mobilize armies of helpers, usually female. Part of Durga's teaching is we must act. It's not enough to know, we must do. Okay, let me roll up my sleeves for this. There is one caveat. I love tapping into Durga's power, but because she is part of my personality archetype, I need to be very careful not to swing into the shadow aspects of Durga. That can look like lack of patience and judgment towards myself and others. If I'm not careful, shadow Durga can be self-righteous and critical and can show up as a relentless inner critic. Oh, hello. Meryl Streep's character in The Devil Wears Prada embodies the essence of the Durga shadow. She uses her power to reduce the women around her to menial status. And the Red Queen in Alice in Wonderland is another display of Durga functioning from her shadow. Here are some ways that you can embody Durga in your daily life. There is a curated YouTube playlist that I've put together with videos to help you engage with her vibe and energy. The link is up here and in the description below, and you should bookmark it for future reference whenever you want to get into your Durga power. The 3 traditional forms you can use to engage with Durga are her image, her mantra, and her geometric form or yantra. When working with her yantra as a practice, you would stare at the yantra and visualize all her power, strength, and grace flowing into your heart and coursing through your veins. She is the ruler of liberation, justice, strength, protection from evil forces, the compassion inside the chaos, and the destruction that empowers creation. Now, tapping into Durga doesn't mean you have to get into physical altercations with people. Her fight is thoughtful. I think the only time women are given permission to fight and show anger is when it's tied to protecting their children. Everyone understands and respects the mama bear mentality. But I think we as women need to give ourselves permission to kick into mama bear mentality anytime we witness a wrong, not just when it's tied to loved ones and or a scenario society deems as okay. As part of the playlist, I have a video on the angry woman trope, which is really interesting to watch while working with Durga. It helps bring into the forefront of your awareness the social conditioning around women and their anger. An exercise you can do is listing a few things that you know you are always willing to fight for. And these are the things that you will more naturally call on Durga for support with. On my list, I consider myself a protector of my neighborhood. I will speak up when I see funkiness going on. I speak out when I witness ignorance around racism. And I serve as a shield if someone messes with my mom or my dad when he was alive. Some of the most powerful enemies to face are the internal ones. When the mind unleashes its army of negative thoughts, call out to Ma Durga. Invoke her strength and grace when battling jealousy or fear or lack of motivation or greed. All of the things that can destroy our peace of mind. There are some clips of real life and fictional Durgaesque women to study in the playlist. If you like to use affirmations, you can use I am grateful for my obstacles and I am strong enough to overcome whatever comes my way. There's also a Durga mudra, which is a powerful hand position. It's also known as the anti-panic mudra. And you take your pinky, ring, and middle fingers, close them in, take your thumb, put it over your middle finger, and take your pointer and put it over your thumb. This can foster courage and calms the spirit. It makes one feel secure. It strengthens primal trust and protects from negative influence. It benefits the spleen and its functions, and it relieves stress. There are so many ways you could use this mudra. You could use this while you're standing in line or listening to someone talk like an idiot, and they would never know. You can invoke Durga for taking care of you in bad neighborhoods or negative situations. Okay. Perfect example where at the very least you should invoke the Durga mudra. Invoke Durga for starting a project and getting down to work, completing a project, the willpower to create positive habits, fighting for justice, and ending relationships. And if you happen to suffer heartbreak from ending a relationship, you can check out our video on Goddess Radha. She is the go-to goddess for heartbreak and all matters of the heart. So here are some daily practices you can try. Power clean your house. Go on a 30-day cleanse. You can watch a thunderstorm.
Got a big old storm coming through today.
In awe of nature's power. Walk along the beach and notice the power of the ocean waves moving in and out. You can sit around a campfire to notice the intensity of the fire element. Or you could climb or hike a mountain in awe of your powerful body's strength. I am sporting the latest in my Goddess Collection apparel line. This is the Durga hoodie, and it has the standard lotus pose on top with Durga's mantra below. There will be a link in the description to the complete apparel line for all the goddesses. Here's the most important thing to remember. The warrior and goddess Durga isn't motivated by the ego. It's motivated by love, which is kind of a running theme with our goddesses. An evolved Durga woman has a sense of global connection and global responsibility. And you can put that towards whatever moves you, be it your family or a project or a cause. Please let me know in the comments all the different ways you end up using Durga's power in your daily life. Until next time, onwards! Love you.